What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, I do want to apologize. I have not played this game in ages, so I still don't have any new gameplay just yet. But within the next update, we will be going ahead and live streaming this game, testing out the updates and stuff like that. So I'll probably be able to get some new footage by then. But until that point comes, I'll probably be going ahead and stacking up some more Battlefield 1 footage, because that game is absolutely phenomenal. And crazy to think, still, till this day, it is extremely populated. A game that came out in 2016 probably has more players active right now than a game current day like Battlefield 2042. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a Battlefield fan, today is a massive, huge day when it comes to information for the future of this franchise and also what's going on current day with Battlefield 2042. Now, like I said, there are a couple of things that I have to discuss, and also I'm going to try to cover all sides of the story for both points of the discussion. So I'm going to try my best to be able to push this out, but it's going to be a lot that we have to discuss today. Now, over on Twitter, Battlefield Bulletin put out a tweet. Like I said, game designer Frederick Drabert says, almost everyone at EA DICE is currently working on Battlefield 2042 on many different areas, and a lot of improvements are on the way. They have no plans to remove specialists from the game, but reworked them. Now, the first point that I want to go ahead and point out in this tweet here, and also, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and flash up the original tweet, because I know a lot of people like to, see the origins of what we're talking about here. So this is actually the game designer going about saying all of this stuff. But the first point of interest, in my opinion, is the fact that they still have all hands on deck when it comes to Battlefield 2042. I think the majority of the community believed that they all left 2042 and they went to the future title. Now, I gotta say, it's good that they haven't completely abandoned this game, because, well, me, myself, and a lot of other individuals spent $60 to $100+ for this title. I'll be damned if they go ahead and not give us anything. I'm expecting multiple different seasons, multiple different content drops. I don't care if the game improves, if it gets worse. It doesn't bother me. I just want to see stuff come into the game so I know that the money that I spent isn't an absolute complete waste. Because there is a massive difference between spending your hard-earned $60 on a game that is complete, has all the content, a put-together campaign, everything you possibly need for a game, but isn't fun, compared to spending your $60 on a game that is just not fun and isn't complete at all either. Battlefield has nothing going for it right now. If you spent cash on this game, it might be the worst purchase decision of your whole life. It is, at least for me. I've never purchased anything with my money and felt more just horrible about what I just spent it on. So I gotta be honest here, seeing the dedication from this development team on making sure they redeem this game, even if it's just by the slightest bit, it's pretty nice to see. It's pretty nice to see, because at least my money isn't going towards nothing. It's not just a complete grab and go. They're not just snagging up our cash and completely dipping yet. They're still going to at least produce the seasons that we're expecting to see, and hopefully update the game along the way. But the negative side is that not too many people want to even stick around to see what this game is going to become one day. A lot of people are already ready to move on to the next title, and if the majority of the team is still sticking on this exact game here, that means we're going to have to wait a while. We're not going to see another game in a year. We're probably not even going to see another game in 2 years. We're going to be stuck with 2042 for a decent amount of time, which means that if anybody just doesn't like this game straight up, it doesn't matter how much content comes into this game, it doesn't matter how much work they put into this game, if you just simply don't like the foundation that this game is built upon, then you are stuck without a Battlefield game for ages. You're just going to have to go back to Battlefield 4 if you want a modern day experience. You're just going to have to go back to Battlefield 5 if you want, a modern technology experience. Not modern day, obviously it's a World War II game, but the technology is definitely improved from past Battlefield experiences. So you have to go back to Battlefield 5 or Battlefield 1. It's just, we haven't been able to just truly sink our teeth into a modern day or near futuristic Battlefield game in a while. That's all we want. And now we know it's going to take much longer to achieve one, because the whole team is still, scurrying and trying to pull together 2042. And the second point I got from what this developer has said is that they aren't going to remove specialists, they are just going to rework them. Now, I tried my hardest. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I truly tried my hardest to think of something positive for this. I really did. I sat down and I went to it to think of any positive information for them not removing specialists and just reworking them. But I simply cannot come up with anything. Nothing. I guess the tiniest positive thing I could possibly think of that comes out of this is that at least the developers heard us, right? They could have just completely ignored everything and not even touched the specialists, but even going through the effort to rework them shows that our voices were at least partially heard. But in all reality, to me personally, this just says one thing and one thing only. They are still forming that same exact ego that DICE is just notorious for having. Now, again, I'm not blaming this one specific developer for having an ego, because he's just speaking upon what the overall team is doing. But when I'm talking about the overall team, yes, it seems like the same exact ego. I can't even tell you how complex of a time it was in Battlefield 5 when the time to kill issue came about. Out of nowhere, out of the blue, they just said, you know what? The time to kill is going to be changed. Nobody said a thing about this. Nobody was even completely pissed off about this fact. And then out of nowhere, in a blink of an eye, they completely changed the whole game. When I say the game was changed, it was changed. It wasn't a minor tweak to the time to kill. It was a drastic, game-changing decision that they stuck with and refused to go back on. We had to get through multiple different updates in order for them to even get it back to a reasonable spot, and I still think till this day they haven't even bothered reverting it. They never reverted. They just kept updating the changes until we finally shut up and said, okay, you know what, this is fine enough. And this same exact thing is happening with Battlefield 2042. Once again, something that's in-game that is drastically changing the pacing of the game. The class system wasn't anything tiny about Battlefield. That is what defined Battlefield. That is literally something that is known and loved across the board in every single Battlefield game. They completely changed the whole formula in Battlefield 2042 over to specialists. The feedback was overwhelmingly negative, and I will admit, I admit it every single time because I'm guilty of it. I was kind of supporting them in the beta phase. I wanted to see what they would pan out to be. But I was in a stupidly low portion of the community when it came to voicing our opinions about that. Like I said, it was overwhelmingly negative, and nobody wanted them. And then the full game releases, and it gets even worse. Even people like myself and everybody else who supported the specialist are slowly changing their minds over time to the point that it's just the worst decision ever. The class system is the best possible decision for any Battlefield game, and it should be mandatory in every Battlefield game. But here we are, and we're going to go through this exact same cycle, where slowly over time they're going to trickle different updates, slightly change this, slightly change that, and they're going to try their best to force the specialist agenda down our throats, because you got to remember, for the next Battlefield game, they already had specialists planned in mind. They want specialists to stay and become a new trend, a new thing in Battlefield, when in reality, it's nothing that we want. So right now, there's only one thing that legitimately I think we should do, and that's just continuously voice our opinions. Obviously, nobody's going to want to come back and try out Battlefield 2042. Nobody wants to play this game, and nobody's going to be testing out these reworked specialists besides content creators and people who, make videos about this stuff. But if you casually play games, you're not going to want to bother with this. So all you got to do is just voice your opinion and say, no, none of these changes are good. Nothing that's being, changed around for specialist or reworked is fascinating to bring me back. All I want is the class system. And I guarantee you they're not going to fix this within Battlefield 2042. They will stick to their guns with specialists throughout the whole life cycle of this game. I promise you this. But what we're doing right now is trying to fix the future of the overall franchise. We're trying to make sure that the next Battlefield game that comes out has the slightest chance of ever seeing a specialist ever again. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a massive favor and go down in the comments section and leave your opinions down below. Like I said, today's video was a pretty big one. We had a lot of information. Like I said, we learned that the majority of the whole team is still working on Battlefield 2042 till this day. And also, they have no plans on removing specialists from this game, or probably any plans on removing them from future games as well. So please leave your opinions about all this stuff down below. Do you guys think it's a good idea that all of their manpower is on the current Battlefield game instead of branching off to the next one? And also, do you think it's a good idea they're just trying to rework them? I know there are some specialist lovers out there, people who enjoy them, so maybe it might be a better alternative, and you never know what they can cook up that might be the best of both worlds. But altogether, I'm gonna be honest, just bring back the class system. That's all we truly want. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. Bones, I hated it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with us, tweets, do so have Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games, do it over on Twitch, link that is in the description as well. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. See you all next one. Peace out.